Hello, I'm glad to see you today on the Wednesday of Easter week. I'm Ann Hoffman, and I'm the principal here at Sacred Heart School. And I was asked to provide a reflection for today. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read to you the gospel from St. Luke, and I'm going to provide what I call a stream of consciousness. So in other words, as I read it, I'm going to talk about what's going through my head and what I'm thinking about and what Jesus is trying to say to me today. So here we go. This is from Luke chapter 24, verses 13 through 35. That very day, the first day of the week, 2 of Jesus' disciples were going to a village 7 miles from Jerusalem called Emmaus. 7 miles. Gosh, that's a long way. It must have been something perfect, because 7's the number that means perfection. So let's see. They were conversing about all the things that had occurred. And it happened that while they were conversing and debating, I wonder what they were arguing about. Jesus himself drew near and walked with them, but their eyes were prevented from recognizing him. You would think that they would have recognized the nail marks in his hands and on his feet. There must have been a reason why Jesus didn't want them to see him. He asked them, "What are you discussing as you walk along?" And they stopped, looking downcast. One of them, named Cleopas, said to him in reply, and I bet he's saying this kind of snotty, "Are you the only visitor to Jerusalem who does not know of the things that have taken place there in these days?" Probably disgusted too. And he replied to them, "What sort of things?" They said to him, "The things that happened to Jesus the Nazarene, who was a prophet, mighty in deed and word before God and all the people. How our chief priests and rulers both handed him over to a sentence of death and crucified him. But we were hoping that he would be the one to redeem Israel. And besides all this, it's now the 3rd day since this took place. Some women from our group, however, have astounded us. They were at the tomb early in the morning and did not find his body. They came back and reported that they had indeed seen a vision of angels who announced that he was alive. Then some of those with us went to the tomb and found things just as the women had described, but him they did not see." Sounds like they're pretty disappointed. What are they supposed to believe now? And he said to them, "Oh, how foolish you are." When Jesus talks like that, you realize that even as God, he had lost his patience to a certain extent with these people. He probably loses his patience with me pretty often too. How slow of heart to believe all that the prophets spoke. Was it not necessary that the Christ should suffer these things and enter into his glory? Then, beginning with Moses and all the prophets, he interpreted to them what referred to him in all the scriptures. Now that's Jesus as the classic teacher, isn't it? As they approached the village to which they were going, he gave the impression that he was going on farther. But they urged him, "Stay with us, for it is nearly evening and the day is almost over." Gosh, those guys were pretty hospitable. They didn't even know this man, and they're inviting him home. So he went in to stay with them. And it happened that while he was with them at table, he took bread, said the blessing, broke it, and gave it to them. With that, their eyes were opened, and they recognized him, but he vanished from their sight. Then they said to each other, "Were not our hearts burning within us when he spoke to us on the way and open the scriptures to us? Just imagine. So they set out at once and returned to Jerusalem, 7 miles back, where they found gathered together the 11 and those with them who were saying, "The Lord has truly been raised and has appeared to Simon." Then the two recounted what had taken place on the way and how he was made known to them in the breaking of the bread. If you're like me, don't you miss Mass? Don't you miss getting to know Jesus and seeing him in the breaking of the bread? Being with all those people together, those people that you know are there every weekend right by you. It's a place where you belong. It's a place where you can come and be consoled. You can be encouraged. You can be reprimanded. Your heart can burn within you. So today, I'm praying that my heart's going to be open to whatever is burning within me. And I'm asking you, what's making your heart burn today? Are you open to what Jesus has to say to you? I really hope so. Have a happy Easter. God bless.